Yo, what's good? You are now tuned into Hot Streak Podcast. It's your boy Carlos in the cut. And
Yup. The best sports podcast out, baby.
you already know it's the truth. It's the truth. So yeah, let's kick it right off, man. We're gonna bring you some NBA news. Right off the bat, some unfortunate news for the Clippers. Blake Griffin sprained his MCL earlier in the week. Expected to be out at least 2 months. If you're a Clippers fan, that is not good. Your star player is out. He's basically your offensive powerhouse, and he's not going to be on the court. So you're going to have to rely on Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan to carry your team. This brings the question, what do the Clippers do with DeAndre Jordan? I've heard some trade rumors, possibly sending him to Cleveland.
I like that trade rumor.
I like the trade rumor too, sending him to Cleveland. The only thing I don't like about that is if the Clippers trade him to Cleveland, they need to get some insurance back on that, because I think the rumored trade proposal was straight up just Tristan Thompson for DeAndre Jordan. That is a horrible trade if you're the Clippers.
No, there's a first round pick involved too for the Clippers.
I guess I still think that you need to get some more back, just because you're giving up a double-double basically every night for Tristan Thompson and a pick that's not even there yet. So I feel like they do need some production off to bring that in, unless they're going to start tanking. Like, if they're going to start tanking, then just get rid of everything and just acquire assets.
Yeah, I was thinking the tanking route, but just because like DeAndre Jordan is an all-star like caliber player, he's a beast. He does so much on the floor, but I don't see him being like such a crazy difference maker. Like, his defense is okay. He can dominate on the inside, but I don't know. Like, he's not winning. He's not going to win you games, you know? Like, on the Cavs, he could win games for the Cavs because he's just a part of the puzzle. But as the Clippers, he can't be that main dude.
No, yeah, he's definitely not going to be the main dude on the Clippers. I don't think he was ever. He was always playing second fiddle to Blake, and then when Chris Paul was there, he was obviously third in line. Not even looking at him as an offensive player, just as a presence in the paint. But if he were to get traded to the Cavaliers, that's one matchup that the Cavs would love to have against the Celtics, just because the Celtics don't have that powerhouse center in the paint that can match up against DeAndre Jordan. Then again, the Celtics could just go small and run up and down the court on this Cavs team. I think their average age on the Cavs is like 30. They're like one of the oldest teams in the league or something.
Damn. Dude, by the way, we mentioned Lou Williams. This guy dropped 40 points on his former team, the Lakers, on Monday. And, dude, it's kind of like, as a Laker fan, it's like super sad to see that we let him go off. Like, he could have been that bench player that drops 40, or not 40, like 25, 30 points a game, you know? Like,
yeah, they had to get rid of him for just to give him another chance. I mean, he was balling out with the Lakers, but they weren't even winning any games. He's like 46 points. Yeah, they didn't even want to win. So, I mean, it's good that they let him go. It sucks that he's on the Clippers now. But I like Lou. I ain't really got anything bad to say about Lou Williams.
Yeah, Lou's my guy, man.
Yeah, he was the only guy I would cheer for last year.
Yeah, he's still balling out. The dude's so underrated.
Yeah.
But some more, I guess, injury news. John Wall's out for 2 weeks on a knee injury. And Derrick Rose is injury. Yeah, you heard it. Derrick Rose is injured again.
Yeah, he's contemplating retirement now.
Yeah, this injury is the one that's like the one that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, honestly, because, I mean, think about the mental toll that it does take on you.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Derrick Rose.
People don't realize, like, this guy's an NBA player. His whole life revolves around basketball. And when you get injured for, let's say, like 4 weeks, that's 4 weeks of you just sitting around not playing basketball, not doing what you're good at. Now imagine 3 weeks or I mean, like 3 months and then like a year. It's like he's had so many injuries that stacked up. Dude must have been depressed every time, you know?
Honestly, I do think that Derrick Rose is going through some tough times. I mean, it does take a mental toll on you. He was probably regarded as one of the best point guards in his prime before the injuries, and then those catastrophic injuries just turned his career around. Like, he was the savior for Chicago. He almost beat the Celtics. He almost beat the Heat with LeBron and Dwayne Wade, and then he almost beat the Cavs again. And
yeah, he was Westbrook. He was like our Westbrook.
Yeah, he was
Westbrook.
He was Westbrook before Westbrook, and the first rookie MVP, like unanimous MVP,
Yeah,
I think,
and the youngest MVP.
And he's probably not going to make it to the Hall of Fame. He's probably going to be one of the first or the first MVP to not make it into the Hall of Fame.
See, that's a good point right there, dude, because he was playing at Hall of Fame level. He was, at that height of his career, he was one of the best players in the world. And then one injury, you slowly after these injuries start building up, his potential and his peak got lower and lower. And it's like, I'm sure he knows that, and I'm sure he can see it. And it's not just like, the media talks about it. Everyone talks about it. It's like, how do you, process that mentally? It sucks.
Yeah. It's honestly one of the most tragic stories in sports. Derrick Rose's instant rise to fame, and then just the dismal crash after all these injuries. It's pretty sad. And then going to another player who's regarded as one of the best prospects in the draft, drafted 3rd overall by the Sixers, Jahlil Okafor, is pushing for a buyout or a trade. He doesn't even get minutes when they're up by 20. So my whole thing about this is this guy's a baller. This guy's offensive game in the low post, he is honestly one of the better players better young players in the low post. Like, he's an old school type of guy, but at the same time, like, you could use him. There is some value to him. He's very young, and it's just like, I don't understand how they could just let him sit there on the bench.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it's like hashtag free jaw, man.
Yeah, honestly.
His dad he made a T-shirt that said free jaw. The dude has so much talent. Like, have the decency and respect. That's why I hate some aspects of the business side of the NBA. It's like they might just be keeping him around just in case someone gets hurt. And like, this guy is at maybe the peak of his career age-wise, physically. He should be out there balling and, proving himself, following his dreams, but he's sitting on the bench. And like you said, up by 20, he's still not playing.
Yeah, and it's not like he could even build his stock because he can't seem to find minutes on the floor. Teams don't even know what he can bring to the table because he's not playing in these games.
Super sad. It's like the Sixers have him held hostage right now, even though they do own the rights to Jahlil Okafor. It's like, seek out some of these trade offers. I'm sure there's something out there. Let this guy get a chance somewhere. Like, just give him a break, dude. Like, everyone knows it too. That's the sad part. Even his teammates know it. It's like, give our man Ja a break.
I'm not even sure what they're gonna do, what team he'd go to, but at this point, like, anybody would want to have a nice offensive center on their team. Even though the league is getting smaller and it's small ball and it's 3-point shooting, this guy can give you some points in the paint. He can give you some minutes and be a quality player in the NBA if given the chance, I believe.
Yeah. It's
like, you got Brooke Lopez playing. You got not Brooke Lopez. You got Robin Lopez playing. You got Pau Gasol still in the league, aging. Like, Jahlil Okafor could be a similar type of player to a Pau Gasol, where he could have that nice inside game, some mid-range game, and play quality defense if given the chance,
Yeah, so the point is basically free jaw, man. The dude needs something, and shame on the 76ers. And speaking of, we just mentioned Gasol, let's talk about Mark Gasol and basically what's going on in the Grizzlies organization, because they just fired their head coach, David Fizdale. You hear about this?
Yes. He benched Marc Gasol in the fourth quarter. They lost the game. I think they're on a 9-game losing streak.
You saw Marc Gasol's post-game interview after that game?
Yeah, he said he felt if you're benching me in the fourth quarter, you don't value me on the team. They wouldn't do that to Mike Conley, so why do it to me?
Immediately after he gave that interview,
they fired the coach.
They fired the coach, but in between that time in the interview and the coach firing, he had I guess the Grizzlies got so many trade inquiries about Marc Gasol because, everyone hears he's unhappy here all of a sudden. They're going to try making moves.
Yeah.
But they rejected all of them, and I guess the organization basically just went with Marc Gasol over David Fitzdale because there's rumors going around that there's actually some tension between the two through the summertime and then leading into the season, just, during practice and getting in heated arguments, stuff like that. So they weren't on good terms to begin with, and then it looks like the organization just kind of picked Gasol over Fitzdale because I think Fitzdale's not going to win you games, but he wasn't necessarily the problem.
I think Fitzdale's a good coach. He was on a staff where they won 2 championships in Miami. I just think I think that's pretty cool that the organization chose the player over the coach because Marc Gasol has been mainly the only reason why the Memphis Grizzlies have been competitive in the last couple of years. You could just point at Marc Gasol and Mike Conley, and those two players have literally carried Memphis to the postseason on their backs. Obviously, they didn't make a far enough push being in the West, but you can't really just kick Marc Gasol to the curb like that without some animosity towards growing between the organization and the player. And I'm glad they chose his side, although the coach was a good coach. It just wasn't going to work. You can't have a coach that doesn't agree with the face of the franchise. So you got to get rid of one.
Straight up. And they made their move. And I guess LeBron and obviously everyone in the NBA world reacted because it's kind of a shocker. All of David Fitzdale's friends and LeBron and all them were like, oh, man, he's just a fall guy. He might be the fall guy. It's true, but it's the NBA. Stuff like this has to happen,
Yeah.
Just to keep everything.
And Fitzdale's a good coach. He'll have a job next season. He'll have a job.
Yeah, he'll get one. He's like one of the second youngest coaches in the league. I guess Luke Walton's the only one younger.
Yeah.
The guy's got a long career ahead of him. So, I mean, he did good with the the Grizzlies while he was there anyway. So.
Yeah, he went to the postseason last year. I think they were like the 6th or the 7th seed.
Yeah, I mean, they're not doing horrible right now either. They're not up to par with their old standards, but there's a lot of injuries. Mike Conley's hurt. You got Chandler Parsons on a 4-year deal for some reason, but
a 4-year deal with like the max at the time that he signed that. For some reason,
a dumb. That's a dumb contract. I'm guessing someone in the organization.
Yeah, I think as soon as he signed the 4-year deal, as soon as he was walking out of the office, I think he tore his meniscus.
Oh my god! It's typical Chandler Parsons fashion, man. We got Tony Parker. Yes, Tony Parker is still playing in the NBA,
and he's back.
He's back from his injury finally. So he just returned Monday. That
did not stop Greg Popovich from telling the ref to kiss his ass. He got ejected earlier in that game too. The Spurs are getting healthy. Tony Parker's back. They're still waiting on Kawhi Leonard. I don't anticipate the Spurs having a rough season in terms of not making the playoffs. I think they'll definitely still make the playoffs, even though they don't have their star player right now. But he's scheduled to come back pretty soon.
Yeah, they'll definitely pick up once he's back, thankfully. We can go over some of the little power rankings of the NBA right now, too.
Yeah.
Just for, some standings for everyone to know. In the Eastern Conference, we have the Celtics on top. Honestly, these are kind of like the same ones as last week,
Yeah, the
Cavs
top
are up there again.
The top 5, I think, are the same. The Cavs, the Warriors, the Rockets, and the Spurs.
Yeah, you can expect the Clippers to just keep falling in the Western Conference.
Yeah, Detroit's actually one of the surprising teams out there.
Yeah,
They beat Boston earlier in the week. Andre Drummond had a pretty good game. I think he had like 26 and 22 rebounds, 5 assists or 6 assists. I think he's the first player in over 40 years to record that stat line in the Boston Garden against the Celtics. Last player to do that was Wilt Chamberlain. So that's some pretty cool stats for Andre Drummond. He's actually been one of the most improved players in the league in terms of his efficiency. And one of the teams that I feel like, two teams that I feel like are super teams that have not found their rhythm yet. The Minnesota Timberwolves won, and the OKC Thunder. They seem to be losing games against teams that they should definitely be winning games against, like on paper.
Definitely, yeah.
The Timberwolves don't play defense, and that's the same problem with OKC. And in terms of OKC's efficiency, I think Russell Westbrook still shoots the ball way too much.
Yeah.
And they don't play good team defense, and both of these teams don't play good team defense.
That's true, and I think thankfully right now it's hasn't been it's been like 20 games. If they need to start picking it up like right now though, like you need to start seeing some cohesion and some chemistry, and that team needs to start coming together like it looks like on paper,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even see this. The Rockets are 16-4, number 1 in the West, and then we have the Warriors at number 2 with 15-6. They just took an L
Against the
on
Kings.
Monday against the Sacramento Kings, which are ranked 14th in the West. So
with no
upset
superstar.
game. No superstar. Oh man, that's an understatement. And then the Lakers are actually 8-12, while the Clippers are 8-11. But the Clippers and the Thunder are both 8-11, so that gives you some perspective on how everyone's playing. But hopefully, yeah, all the rest will pan out. I see the Sixers moving up. I mean, they're at 5th right now in the East. I think they could clinch that actual spot and just probably hold it this year if they keep playing at this level.
Yeah.
And the Heat are actually, I think, on the come up. I mean, they just lost against the Cavaliers, but
LeBron James actually got ejected in that game for the first time in his career.
That's so crazy. That referee, dude, was just like,
he's like, I ain't having it. He's like, I ain't having it.
Yeah, the Bulls are on a 6 losing streak. The Magic are on a 9 losing streak. So we saw the Magic up in the beginning, and then everyone was hyped. But nah, they're back on a 9 losing streak.
And then I want to take a look at Rookie of the Year predictions.
Oh wait, one more.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
My bad. Cavaliers are on a 9-win streak. So everyone who was worried, they're back. And don't ever disrespect LeBron James' name because, they're on a 9-win streak and 3rd in the East. So put some respect on that.
Yeah, and then what I was saying, I want to take a look at the Rookie of the Year, potential Rookie of the Year standings here. So obviously we got Ben Simmons. I think he's played the most minutes, or plays around the most minutes. Obviously very efficient.
Yeah.
Unguardable at the point guard position in terms of size and playmaking ability. And then you have Donovan Mitchell out of Utah, who's been getting a lot of game time.
Guy's good.
That guy's good.
He's inconsistent right now. He's a rookie, but he's really good.
Yeah, and he's getting more playing time just because the Utah Jazz have been plagued with injuries early on in the season. So keep an eye on him. We have, obviously in LA, we have Lonzo Ball and surprising steal of the draft, Kyle Kuzma, who's been, I think he has averaged about 14 points a game in this early season, has the record the season high for 30 points for a rookie. Yeah. He's very efficient. He can shoot any shot. I've seen him do spinning hooks with his right hand, spinning hooks with his left hand, attack the bucket, shoot threes, shoot mid-range shots, shoot off the dribble. He's pretty good offensively. I don't know how he just fell into the Lakers' lap there, but he's definitely should be one of the top rookies in the discussion for Rookie of the Year come June.
Yep, and I definitely think future superstar Jason Tatum will also I mean, he's.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter has been very efficient.
Yeah, he's playing a good, nice role for himself on a good team with the Celtics, and I mean, he's averaging like 13, almost 14 points. He's shooting great though. He's shooting about like 50% in his true field goal percentage, and almost 50% from his 3-point percentage too. So, what more you can ask for a rookie?
True.
And Lonzo Ball, I think, in my opinion, not that it's anything bad, but he's gonna fall out of the rookie race just because. He's getting the minutes and all the opportunities, but he's just, he's not a superstar right now. And It's going to take time until he ever reaches his level. And right now he's getting good practice, but it's not going to be this year. It's not. I mean, it's only been 20 games in. Give the kid a break. He's not horrible. He's not a bust, but he's not going to be the rookie of the year, in my opinion. I think Kyle Kuzma has a better chance.
Kyle Kuzma definitely has a better chance than Lonzo Ball. But, I mean, we'll see, man. I like the NBA season so far. There's a lot of good things going on.
A lot of drama.
A lot of
headlines.
Yeah. And it's only going to get better from here on out. So, stay tuned with the NBA. Stay tuned with Hot Streak. And we'll be back with some more news. We got NFL news coming up. FIFA World Cup news coming up. Yeah, keep it locked. This is Conor McGregor. And you're now listening to Hot Streak.
Welcome back to Hot Streak Podcast, guys. Hope you guys just enjoyed that beautiful music. If you're listening to the radio version, we got some NFL news to talk about. It's pretty lit. The NFL has a lot of narratives going on, a lot of headlines. And the first one we'll start off with, it's kind of heartbreaking, but Eli Manning got benched.
Damn.
Eli Manning got benched for Geno Smith because... Of a bunch of reasons, but basically he broke a record or broke his streak, which was a 210
consecutive starts.
Yeah, in the regular season, and the only person who has a higher one, I guess, is Brett Favre.
Yeah, that was
267, I believe.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, he has the highest.
Poor guy.
The highest streak among active players, second all time. Beats Peyton Manning by 1 game. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Eli, is this your last game in New York?" I mean, obviously the ball's in the management's position now. Like they can pick to trade him or they can keep him or whatever it is. But I don't think necessarily that this just means that he's going to be traded or let go at the end of the season. It could just mean that they don't want to risk him because they're essentially the next couple of weeks they're playing for nothing. They're playing for draft. For draft positioning, and
that's why I don't understand why they would do that kind of to Eli Manning's ego. I don't know if it's to fire him up or, because every quarterback knows their position isn't safe if they get injured or whatever, but it's kind of messed up. Like I saw the interview they gave when they're asking him about it, and he's just like holding back tears. A guy wanted to cry, like he's crushed.
Yeah, he got traded to New York. He's the only quarterback to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and not only has he done that once, but he did it again 4 years later. He's basically been the joke of the Giants and the saving grace of the Giants because if you think about it, he's had some horrible games. He's thrown up so many interceptions. He has the most losses by any quarterback with one franchise. But he's still got 2 Super Bowl rings over Tom Brady. So, put some respect on his name.
Straight up, because he can play at superstar caliber level, but, a lot of times he doesn't. But, it's in him.
And you can't blame Eli for everything this season. Their defense obviously has not been playing up to par. Their offense is full of practice squad.
Days.
Yeah, right now, they're starting receiving core. There's only one guy who was there last season, Sterling Shepard, and he's been in and out of injury. It's a bunch of practice squad players. Their offensive line is blind. They can't block anything. And Eli Manning, you can't expect Eli Manning to have a horrible offensive line and be productive.
Exactly. There's no quarterback's going to make this guys catch these balls, and no quarterback's going to run the ball better for the team.
And they have no running back. So
and it's just crazy.
Yeah, you could put a great offensive line and you could put Blake Bortles back there and he would have a superb season. If Eli had a great offensive line, I'm pretty sure their record would not be, what is it, 2-10 or 2 yeah, I think it's 2-10.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eli though for beating the Chiefs earlier in the year.
Yeah, for real. A little fun fact: the Giants will be the last NFL team to start an African American quarterback. Geno Smith is going to be the first African American quarterback to start for the Giants ever, and
I'm
they were
glad.
the last team to do it.
I'm glad Geno Smith is starting because the Raiders play the Giants this week, and we need some interceptions to rack up. So hopefully Geno Smith throws it to the wrong team.
Yeah, man, I got Sterling Shepard on my fantasy squad, bro. It's a make or break for the playoffs for me this week. I don't know what I'm doing.
You gotta go pick somebody up on the waiver wire.
Hey, anyways, we got Michael Crabtree on the Raiders, and Aqib Talib on the Broncos got into a little brawl.
Oh, honestly, this was one of the best NFL fights that I've ever seen. It happened within the first possession of the game. I believe it was like the 5th snap of the Raiders' offensive drive, and Aqib Talib snatched Michael Crabtree's chain. And I mean, Michael Crabtree, if you get your chain snatched anywhere, like the person who snatched your chain is gonna you got to put him in a coffin. Like that's the only retaliation. You got to straight up you grab that guy by the neck, and that's it. So Michael Crabtree did that. There was a full-on brawl in the Oakland Coliseum. Punches were thrown. 3 players were ejected. The initial suspension was a 2-game suspension. So that would have meant that Michael Crabtree missed the game against the Giants and then the next game against the Chiefs. I was not happy about that, but they appealed, and both players are getting a 1-game suspension. So it was a long time coming. This wouldn't have happened if the NFL would have done something about the first time that Aqib Talib snatched his chain, because he did this last year in Week 17. It's a cheap shot. It's just you don't need that in the sport, man. Like, what's the point of that? You're just gonna antagonize a guy. He's gonna punch you in the face, and then you're gonna leave with a black eye. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's childish, but I kind of expected a little bit of, because like you said, last season they got into it, so I was kind of expecting a little tension between the two, and it looks like they just got to it right off the bat.
I know. I didn't know.
No time.
I'm glad I didn't have to pay for that fight.
I know, for real. And we got Darren McFadden, former Raider and Cowboys.
He's retiring.
Retired, man.
10-year season or 10-year career.
He rushed for 1,000 yards in 2 of those seasons.
Yeah, definitely. He was highly scouted out of college. They thought he was going to be a better player on paper. His career didn't really.
4th overall pick.
Yeah, 4th overall pick. Didn't really pan out to anything extremely remarkable, but still a quality player in the NFL. Plagued with injuries most of his career, but I remember a lot of highlights from him in the silver and black. I think in Jacksonville he rushed for like 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. One year, we almost made the playoffs that year. But yeah, man, shout out to Darren McFadden. Great career.
Yeah, dude had a.
That's crazy to me, man. The NFL, what? I think the average for NFL players, it's like 7 years for their career.
Yeah, even I heard less, like 5 or 6, but 10 is pretty long.
Yeah, it's a pretty good career.
I don't even know if you want to play that long in the NFL.
Yeah, honestly, especially with all those injuries tallying up.
Crazy. But here's kind of something that was unexpected, because the 49ers, when they first got Jimmy G, Garoppolo, they said, we're going to wait till next season to start playing him just so he's more prepared. He'll have a better team around him, set him up for success. But last week, their quarterback got injured, and they threw Jimmy G in the game for a brief little stint. He scored a touchdown on that drive, 2 of 2 completion, I believe. And so they decided that for Week 13, the coming week, he's going to start for them, the 49ers.
decided Jimmy G is going to finally start for them in week 13?
Well, he probably is more prepared than their other starting quarterback or their previous starting quarterback. I mean, the Niners aren't going to make any playoff pushes or make any impressive storylines towards the end of the season. But, I mean, if you want to get him out there, get him more familiar with the team, then so be it. I mean, he could only benefit from that, even if you're losing games.
I just wouldn't do it personally because I wouldn't want to risk like an injury. And like they said initially, like preparing him for, setting him up for success. I thought that was a good idea, but they're going to do this. I mean, hopefully he's just not going to go get wrecked out there. But I don't know. It seems like they think they know what they're doing.
True.
But we also have a little controversy, I guess, in Green Bay. The Packers played the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, and it was a close game. Came down to a game-winning field goal. The quarterback starting for the Packers, Brett Hundley, made a late drive to try to score and possibly win the game, but he was actually hit, and the Packers blamed this helmet-to-helmet contact hit for the loss, and they didn't make the call because it didn't look intentional at all, but it was a clear hit, and I guess
Hundley got hit in the head?
Yeah, Hundley got hit in the head by, I believe, Watt, J.J. Watt's little brother.
That's supposed to be a penalty anytime the quarterback gets touched on the head or shoulder area.
Yeah, and they showed the replay of it like right after it happened. I don't know if the officials didn't see or they didn't really think it was a big deal, but it was pretty clear. Like this guy, I thought when I first saw it, no replay needed. I knew for sure like this guy just got hit in the head.
No replay needed.
No, on the live stream, bro. I was just like, okay, that was definitely a helmet to helmet. Hopefully, we'll get a penalty. I don't know if they meant it screwed us up because we didn't get the penalty and that could have won us the game, or he just got hit and it hurt him so bad that he couldn't really focus. Because I'm sure when you get a helmet-to-helmet hit, you're not really too clear in the head, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they're claiming. I don't know if it has anything to do, but we took the L, so whatever.
Yeah, on to the next week at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just move on.
Let's talk about the power rankings, man. Sitting at the top of the league with the best record.
Ooh.
We got Philadelphia. I got the Philadelphia Eagles with the NFL best 10-1.
Damn.
Carson Wentz is playing MVP caliber football. I don't know if you saw him, but he totally faked out two defenders in this past weekend's game against the Bears.
I didn't get to catch it.
Yeah, he man, this guy's elusive for how big he is. He is quick.
They're on a 9-win streak.
Yeah, their only loss to the Kansas City Chiefs earlier in the year.
And now the Chiefs, they were looking like one of the best teams, are starting to look like a little slump because they're on a little 3 losing streak. They're 6-5. They're barely winning the division, but
they're one game in the division. Exactly. They have lost 5 of the last 6. They haven't scored a touchdown in I think like 30 offensive possessions or 30 drives or something like that. Yeah, they haven't scored a touchdown. That is not good. That's not winning football. The second in the power rankings, according to ESPN, the Patriots, and then we have the Rams in third, who just came off of a nice win against the Saints. They were up for the challenge. They beat the Saints, and that was pretty impressive for a young Rams team. Then we have Pittsburgh at number 4, Minnesota at number 5.
I don't know how I feel about Pittsburgh being number 4 because they play like they're number 1 sometimes, but then they'll go up against the Green Bay Packers that are just injury plagued right now and not really a competitive team if they're really that good.
I think,
and it's just like, damn.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Antonio Brown obviously is great. Their offense is pretty nice. I think they have a lot of trouble on their defense, and
I agree.
They require their offense to put up 30 points to give them that security. But
straight up. And Big Ben, he's doing pretty good right now. Like he's scoring 3 touchdowns a game. He might throw 1 interception, but 3 to 4 touchdowns a game. He's playing like wintertime Big Ben, getting ready for the playoffs. Like I agree. The problem is with their defense.
Yeah, and then Minnesota's at number 5, New Orleans at number 6, Seattle number 7. I think Seattle should be lower.
Yeah, I don't think there's much sustainable in their whole team.
I feel like they've lucked out right now with a couple of the way the schedule is panned out. Their division is weak aside from the Rams, but I think Seattle's a pretender. Carolina at number 8, Atlanta number 9, and the Chargers up into the top 10. The Chargers have been playing really good football lately. They blew out the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, which was honestly, it was horrendous to watch that game. I was my dad and my brother are Cowboy fans, and I was like, guys, you seriously can't get a win when I need you to get a win. Like, really, really?
Man.
They put up like 30 points. But the thing with the Chargers is what are they known for? They're known for choking. So you can't really see them right now at 5-6, one game behind the Kansas City Chiefs, tied with the Raiders for that division. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. They could possibly come out on top of the division, possibly come out last place in the division. So let's see. And then
that'll be interesting.
There's a lot of middle of the pack teams: Jacksonville, Washington, Detroit, Tennessee, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Oakland to round out the 20.
I think Jacksonville can be a top. I mean, they could be the best team in the whole league, but they just need a new quarterback and some better receivers, maybe. I think if they had Kirk Cousins and after this free agency, it would be game over, man. It would be total balling out. Maybe even Eli Manning. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
total balling.
Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning reunited.
Jags defense gets a touchdown every game, and
they did again this last game too, huh?
Yep, at the end of towards the end of the game too, because I have them as my defense on fantasy, and they're the number 1 defense in the league. So
the Chiefs are just free falling right now. Like we said earlier, they lost 5 of the last 6. They can't score a touchdown. They have all these weaknesses that all of a sudden have been exploited by opposing teams, and maybe it's time for a change at the quarterback. Maybe it's time for a change in the head coaching seat. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Kansas City, but I wish them nothing but the worst. And hopefully
they're playing the Raiders this week. That's why.
No, they play the Raiders next week, but they play the Jets this week. Hopefully the Jets can beat them. That's asking for a miracle, but I've seen things happen.
McCown. Yeah, well, let's get into the preview for Week 13 because there's some interesting games here. We got the Redskins versus the Cowboys. I feel like we've been having this Redskins and Cowboys game for the last 10 weeks, even though it's probably the first one this whole season.
Yeah, it's on Thursday night.
Yep.
Oh, it was actually last night. My bad.
Oh, yeah, right. Who won?
Yeah, you guys know who won,
Redskins.
but I think the Redskins win this game. And then Minnesota versus Atlanta. Minnesota. New England versus Buffalo.
Ooh, New England.
Hopefully Buffalo could win. But yeah, I'm gonna pick New England. The battle.
Realistically.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. The battle of the bottom of the barrel. San Francisco versus Chicago.
Oh, wait.
Jimmy G?
San Francisco, bro.
Yeah. I'll go with San Francisco. Green Bay versus Tampa.
Ooh, it's in Green Bay in December. I think Green Bay, bro.
Yeah, I think Green Bay
Picking
too.
Green Bay.
Houston versus Tennessee.
Oh man. Oh, dude, hold up. My birthday is on Sunday. Green Bay versus Buccaneers. They better win that game.
Shout out to Saif.
Shout out my birthday, bro. Texans, I think, versus the Titans.
I think the Titans win this.
Shit show. I think the Texans will take it.
Tom Savage is probably the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But
horrible.
Yeah.
freaking Hopkins is crazy though.
Yes, Hopkins is the real deal. Best receiver in
throw
the
it.
league. Best receiver in the league.
Straight up.
Denver at Miami.
Oh man, another shit show. We got Denver winning that game.
I got Miami winning that game.
Ooh.
Kansas City versus New York in New York. Come on, Jets. You better win this. You better win
the
this,
Jets
Jets.
are always an upset like beasts, and I'm not even saying like they're the upset in this game, but they are. But I mean, like the Jets. Yeah, I don't know. They could pull it off.
A struggling Kansas City team. Maybe the Jets could get a win.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacksonville versus Indianapolis.
Jacksonville.
Detroit versus Baltimore.
Detroit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit too. Let's see. Cleveland versus the Chargers. Come on, Cleveland.
Man. Cleveland's gonna get the first win of the season.
Let's go, Cleveland.
Put my name on it. Hey, and who said? What was I right about? Oh man, there was a game last week I was dead on.
Oh, the Bengals, right?
Was it the Bengals?
I think it was the Bengals versus Cleveland because I saw the scoreline and I was like, oh yeah, Saif got that one right.
Why did you say the Browns were going to win?
Yeah, I said the Browns were going to win.
There was no, dude. It was a different game. Hold up, I'm going to look at it right now. I know for a fact. Damn it.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe I was tripping. All right, whatever.
New York versus Oakland.
No, my bad. It was a Chargers game versus Cowboys. That's who it was.
Oh,
28-6. The Cowboys got dominated.
Ridiculous.
All right, what were we say? Oakland versus
the Giants.
Oh man,
Let's go
Raiders.
Oakland.
Yeah.
Carolina versus New Orleans.
New Orleans.
The Rams versus the Cardinals. Rams.
The Rams.
Philly versus Seattle.
Philly.
And then on Monday, that could be Seattle, but I think Philly's gonna win.
Yeah.
And then Monday we got Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh.
Yup. We have some pretty good matchups this week, man. There's no more bye weeks. Everyone's playing, and it's the home stretch of the season, the last month of the season, and hopefully there's some good games, some good playoff pushes, and a lot of teams are looking like they're ready. If the playoffs started today, they look like they're ready for it. So hopefully we can get some pretty good games this weekend, and yeah, enjoy that Sunday full of great matchups and Saif's birthday.
Yeah, my birthday, most importantly, man.
Yeah, most importantly.
Yeah, dude. So say a little blessing for me on my birthday. Oh, and I might as well just throw the plugs out there right now. Give me a little birthday shout out on Instagram, you know. Saif K94 on Instagram. Follow me. Follow Hot Streak Podcast on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter also at Hot Streak POD. And then follow Carlos.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at chef_cgod.
Right. Yeah, get those follows in, guys. And we're about to wrap up this NFL section. Enjoy the music if you get to hear it. And we'll be back with some more soccer. Stay tuned.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is Saif, and you're listening to Hot Streak Podcast.
And we're back on Hot Streak Podcast. You already know what it is. We're about to bring you some FIFA World Cup news. If you haven't heard, the World Cup drawing for the groups has been announced today. The way it worked was Pot 1, which was Russia, Germany, Brazil, Portugal, Argentina, Belgium, and Poland, and France. And then Pot 2, Spain, Peru, Switzerland, England, Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay, and Croatia. Pot 3, Denmark, Iceland, Costa Rica, Sweden, Tanzania, Egypt, Senegal, and Iran. And then Pot 4, Serbia, Nigeria, Australia, Japan, Morocco, Panama, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. One team from each pot is drawn into a group, making 8 groups of 4 nations. There can be no more than 2 teams from Europe in any one pot, and no more than 1 nation from any other confederation in one pot. So, currently, since this is a pre-recorded show, we don't have the groups available, but you can just go ahead and visit ESPN when you're reading this or listening to this, and then you'll see the groups there. The World Cup does not start until June of 2018, so keep it locked for more information on that. There should be some friendlies coming up. A lot of teams are going to prepare against some of the teams they may face. I'm eager to see what the group of death is in this World Cup, because there is a lot of strong teams, and it's going to be pretty competitive. I'm super stoked.
Oh yeah.
The first fun fact: first time that there's 4 Arabic nations in the World Cup.
Hey.
Shouts out.
Who are they? Saudi Arabia,
Egypt, Morocco,
Oh yeah, Morocco.
and Senegal.
Hey, shouts out.
Yep. Yeah, so let's go to the competitive first top 4 leagues. We have the Premier League, who actually had some mid-table matches earlier in the week. So you guys know the scorelines for that. They do play this weekend again. Saturday, some interesting matchups. Mainly Arsenal versus Manchester United, who seems to have unlocked their attacking prowess once again. Arsenal has looked like they have made some sort of defensive adjustments. They barely came out with a win earlier last weekend, but their defense has been playing very well. They just need their attacking side of the ball to carry over. But if they can defend well against a Manchester United team that is very strong, should be a very good matchup. We have Chelsea versus Newcastle on Saturday as well. Liverpool versus Brighton Hove Albion. And on Sunday, Manchester City, the league leaders, versus West Ham United. So that's for the Premier League. That league is crazy. There's always some great goals there. Manchester City is on fire. I think they have completed over 9,000 passes this season, which is 2,000 more than second place, which is Arsenal. I think they have like 7,000. So pretty good matchups. Spanish First League. There last weekend, I actually want to jump into last weekend because there was some controversy. Saturday, Madrid played against Malaga. They played in the Bernabeu, and Malaga came out swinging. They scored first, and then it was tied towards the later half of the game, or towards the end of the game, and they gave up a penalty. Ronaldo missed the penalty, but got the rebound and scored. So they were up 3-2, and then Malaga scored, but the refs disallowed the goal. It was a clear goal. They disallowed it. So Madrid came out with the win, 3-2. And then on Sunday, Barcelona played second place Valencia. This game was a very competitive match. Messi played a little triangle pass with Iniesta, who then placed it to Suarez and then gave it back to Messi. And Messi shot the ball from outside the box. Keeper kind of blocked it. It went in between his legs and went over the line, at least a meter over the line. The refs did not call the goal, and then Valencia scored, and then Barcelona was then down 1-0, so they salvaged a point with a tie, but that brings the debate up since I believe every top team or every top league in Europe has goal line technology to assist the refs for these certain situations where the ball crosses over, they don't get a clear view of it, whatever may be the reason, and they don't call the goal. There's also some rumors that there's some match fixing going on because a lot of the referees have been calling games in favor of Madrid, even against Barcelona, who's not playing against Madrid that week. They'll try to get Madrid some points or try to shave some points off of Barcelona's lead. I don't know how much that is. It may be true. They haven't really found any of that. Haven't done any investigations of that, but that was a clear goal that they disallowed, and now the league lead, I think, is 8 points for Barcelona. So keep it just like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to have the first team or the Spanish First League, and you're not going to have goal line technology when the Swiss League has goal line technology? I think they need to integrate that into every league. The MLS even has goal line technology, so that's just something that needs to be thrown out there. I don't understand it, but anyways, moving forward to this weekend's games, we have Barcelona versus Celta Vigo on Saturday, Atletico Madrid versus Real Sociedad, and Athletic Bilbao versus Real Madrid. And then second place plays on Sunday, Valencia versus Getafe. So there should be some pretty good games this weekend in the Spanish league. And then we'll go to the Bundesliga, the German top flight. Bayern Leverkusen versus Borussia Dortmund. Bayern Munich versus Hanover. And Schalke versus Cologne. And those games, the German league's pretty competitive in general between all the teams. So hopefully there's some good goals. Bayern Munich actually did lose last weekend against Schalke, I believe. So they're trying to bounce back off of a loss. And now to the French league. My bad. Let's see. They had some games earlier in the week as well. Since there is no Champions League this week, they play during the week. So you guys know the scores of that. But this weekend they have PSG versus Strasbourg and Monaco versus Angers. Those are the top two teams in the league. PSG played Monaco last weekend and came out to win, so their league lead has grown. It doesn't look like PSG is going to lose the league lead. They're definitely favorites to come out on top of that and be the champions of Paris or of France this year. Neymar doing magic with his feet, man. I don't know if you saw the highlight on Twitter, Saif, but he took on like 4 defenders and megged 2 of them. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, they're still having some chemistry issues, but Kylian Mbappe has not had a great season, but it looks like they're gonna get through it anyway. And I think that's pretty much it for this episode of Hot Streak. You got anything else to add on, Saif?
No, not really, man. It's been a pretty interesting week in the NBA, football, soccer. I'm just stoked for more to come, as always. And, yeah, it's going to be a good week.
Yeah, man. And any special plans for your birthday?
Hey, man, I might just go out on the town a little bit. Might hit up Orange County if anyone's out there. Yeah, I might go celebrate on Saturday night. I'll definitely let you know.
For sure.
It's popping.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah,
we can't wait to have you back in the studio, though, honestly.
Hey, I can't wait to be back.
I
might be making a comeback sooner than expected.
Ooh. I'm looking at my right here, and I'm like, where's Saif?
Who am I talking to?
It's empty.
I'm there in spirit, bro.
Yeah. Quick plug. CRP shows on Instagram. Follow our producer. He's got quality content coming out left and right. It's like he's shitting these masterpieces. It's ridiculous, man. It's just coming out. It's like forcing them out. They don't even want to come out. It's just forcing it.
They don't even want to come out.
He's like, it's not done yet. My best is not good enough. I'm like, damn.
Best is yet to come, fam.
For real. Yeah, so shout out to Caesar. Shout out to all the CRP shows. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next week.
This was a Cesar Rodriguez production. Check out more at crpshows.com.